This is a video on how to properly winterize the Skipper's Cove Beach Club. Some people believe that you can just drain the water out of the lines and it'll drain to the outside and you'll be good. That is absolutely not true. The system must be blown out with high pressure air, and the way you do it is a multi-step process. As I'm showing up in the ceiling, there are two valves right there, and on the other end of the pipe there are two more valves. These valves, when they're in the straight line position like they currently are, the valve is open and water is flowing to the outside bathroom. As I come up here a little closer, I can show you, hopefully without falling, I can show you that when you turn this valve off, such as that, the water to the bathroom is completely cut off. There's a hot, which is the red one, and there's the blue or white over here, which is the cold water. They both have to be shut off before you start the entire process. Once they're shut off, then these valves become important. They're the ones that you're going to pump the high pressure air into in order to blow out the line. Now these are both off right now. They're both closed because with this open, if this were open, the water would be spraying in my face right now. So it's important to close these valves first and then keep these valves closed while you go downstairs in the bathroom and open up the spigot. Then you come back up here and you connect your compressor to these valves. Okay? Needs a little adapter. Any compressor will work, but you might have to have an adapter to the hose bib. All right, once it's connected, turn the compressor on. It'll pump up to about 35 psi and then shut itself off, depending on the settings that you have on the compressor. That means that the compressor is ready to pump air into those valves. All right, so now what you do is you go outside and you make sure that the spigots are open, but generally just one at a time, because again, you know, you have hot and cold water. So you turn, see if I can get this thing working again. Okay. Generally, you just walk in here and turn on the water. All right. With it in the on position, you then go back up into the closet and you open the valve that allows high pressure air to go through the line. Now, since the other valves, the inline valves are closed, you're not going to see there's water running down like this. Spigot will be open, there'll be nothing coming down until you open the inside valve and the air is allowed to go in the line. Then it's going to go all the way down and it's going to pump all this water out of that line into the sink, and then you'll hear the air coming out and so on. You do that several times for both the hot and the cold in order to get all the water out of that line. Very important to get it all so the line doesn't freeze up over the winter. You do the same thing with the toilet. You flush the toilet, and with the valves closed up in the attic, no water should fill up this tank. This should be quiet. That's some of the process. The other part is to come around to this side of the building. In the garbage area, you have an active spigot which is connected directly to those lines in the bathroom. So what you do is you open that spigot when you have air pressure in the line, and again all the water will come out of here. It'll blow out the hose, it'll do all that. Once all that is gone and you've got nothing but air coming out of here, take this off because this will freeze and get destroyed. You take this off and you close up that valve. All right, that's most of it. There's a little bit more. once all the water is out of the system, then you come in here with your antifreeze and you pour into the bowl right here, into this bowl right here, and down the drain and in the drain on the floor. You pour antifreeze. I recommend the RV type. 1 gallon will easily cover everything that you need here. So you pour it in, it's a red color, it stays red, and pretty much that's it. Once you've got all the air blowing out the water and you've got the antifreeze in here, this bathroom and the outside spigot is winterized. I'm going to go back upstairs for a second, or inside at least for a second, because we also have to talk about this line right here. This line is not the same as the others. Air will not come out of this line. This one has to be drained by turning off the valve behind the bar. So you come in here, I'll show you where the valve is. Come behind the bar. You gotta get down on your knees to find this valve. And there it is. You turn that round valve, you close the water off to the outside. This line will then drain as long as the outside spigot is open. So that's the last step in this process, is opening that outside spigot, let all the water drain out, leave it open, and you're done with that line. Come back in here. You take your air compressor lines off. Make sure both of those lines are blown out. Make sure those valves stay in the closed position that's perpendicular to the pipe itself. Parallel to the pipe, like you currently see, means water is flowing through that line. You can't have that because the water will just go down in that line and stay in there, and it'll freeze up during the winter. So you got to close those for the winter. That gets blown out. You can close the other valves that the air lines were attached to right there. You close those valves for the winter as well. If you forget to do that, it's not really that big a deal, except in the spring when you open those valves. If you haven't got these closed, you're going to get the surprise of your life because you're going to get soaking wet. And then that's it, pretty much. Blow out the lines, put the antifreeze in. Oh, the last thing I wanted to mention, very important step, lock the outside bathroom. Because if you don't, and somebody uses it, like happened 2 years ago, then you got to start the process all over again and clean up the mess to boot. So not a good thing. Make sure the bathroom is completely locked for the winter, and that pretty much completes the winterization process. No big deal.